Hi everyone, Frankie here. I hope all is well. If you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. We talk about all things gaming and mindset here. And if you're returning, hello again, and thank you for coming back. In today's video, I want to talk about the importance of escapism and gaming. And when I talk to non-gamers especially, is like they always think, oh, you're trying to escape things, you're trying to avoid reality, avoid problems. And that's not the case. So I think about escapism in gaming like a maintenance, like sleep, rest, breathing, all those types of things. It's a natural extension of what I need. So in this video, I want to talk about 5 things that I think escapism does for us, and why at the end of this video, I hope you will see the word escape as not a negative, but as a positive. So let's get into it. There's a difference between escapism and checking out. And in this video, we're talking about escapism and gaming and the benefits it has. But before I do, I want to pose 2 questions. Well, one question really. It's, what's the difference between spending 2 hours in front of Netflix or scrolling through TikTok or Instagram against 2 hours of gaming? On the surface, not much really. But when you're doom scrolling or watching a film, your mind is still actively scrolling through the day. It's still thinking about what happened, what could happen tomorrow. But when it comes to gaming, I find that you end up shifting gears essentially. By gaming and escaping into a game, it forces your brain now to do something it doesn't do with Netflix and Instagram. You start problem solving. You start figuring stuff out. Your brain is working in a more active way to help you progress. And that's something that Netflix and social media scrolling doesn't do. So when I think about escapism and when it comes to gaming, I think about the benefits that it does to my mind. You know, it's giving it stuff that it really needs to switch off from the problems, go and actively do something in terms of problem solving, like you would do a Sudoku or something like that. And I find if you ask yourself at the end of a session of Netflix or a good gaming session is, how do you feel? Do you feel like you've achieved something and you feel rested and relaxed? Or do you walk away feeling like, didn't really achieve much in those 2 hours? And I bet for a lot of us when we game, we always feel like we've achieved something. So that is one of the key things when it comes to gaming and escapism. For me, it's about that switching gears of my mindset and allowing my mind to distance itself from the problems in the world at this moment in time and just deal with what's ahead of me in the game. When was the last time that a day really felt like your day? And I'll tell you something, gaming always gives me a feeling of control. So, when you think about the day usually, whether you're at work, school, whatever it may be, a lot of what you're doing is quite reactive to other people's problems and other people's ideas, right? You're responding to emails of questions, notifications, someone asking you to do this, do that. And it's probably a very small amount of that time where you're actively making a decision for yourself that you want to do, especially as we get older, maybe have family as well. What I find with gaming, really, in terms of this escapism aspect, is that it gives me control back. So as soon as I boot up a game, I am in complete control of that narrative of the game. If I want to go and do a side quest, I go and do a side quest. If I want to go and do something in the main story, I'll do something in the main story. If I want to make a big action and I'm given 2 options to, help someone or not help someone, that decision is mine. And I think that's really important for us, especially as adults as we get older, is reclaiming some of that control And even though it is in a virtual world, I think our brain, our body, our soul really needs that aspect of being in control. And that's a really key element that gaming gives me, gives you, can give us all really, is that feeling of control whenever we want and need it in our day-to-day life. Just wanted to drop in quickly and say, if you're enjoying the video, it really helps us out if you drop it a like, subscribe if you want to see more gaming mindset content like this. And if you've got any thoughts on the videos and topics that we've discussed, drop them down in the comments below. I'll be really interested to see what you guys think about what we're discussing today. So thank you again, and let's get back into it. You shouldn't need a reason to escape. And for that reason, you need to stop apologizing for it. So escapism isn't a bad thing. And for me, it's just like maintenance. It's like, replacing the oil in your car. It's like having a nap, having sleep, breathing. It's something that I need in my day-to-day to make sure I function okay. And I think we as adults, as gamers, need to stop thinking that we're not being productive by gaming. That 2 hours we were gaming, we could have gone and made a table or something like that. But where it really hits home is escapism and gaming gives us all different things. And I think for a lot of us, it's about recharging. It's about just settling down, having a bit of time to ourselves, and just giving our mind this opportunity to just unwind a little bit from the day and all the problems that have occurred in the day. So what I want this point to really be about is that don't apologize for escaping. It's okay to escape, just like it's okay to breathe, just like it's okay to go and have a nap or anything like that. If you find after 2 hours, 1 hour of escapism, you feel better, you feel like you're in a better state of mind, you can achieve more things in the day afterwards, or be more proactive the next day, or be a better human being around your family and friends because of what that gives you, then never apologize for it. Never, ever, ever apologize for it. This next one is a bit of an emotional one, a bit of a weird one, you could say, but gaming and escapism gives us this opportunity to get emotional, right, without the negative impact of it. So I think back to when I was younger and I played Final Fantasy X for the first time. And this was a game that gave me so many emotions. Now, I fell in love with that game. I fell in love with the characters for the first time. I fell in love with a story about love and friendship for the first time. And the whole thing got me emotional. I was 15, 16, and I remember crying at different points in that game, especially at the end. And back then I felt a bit silly that I was crying over a video game. And I've had it years later with, The Witcher 3, when Geralt walks into the door and he sees Ciri laying there. That really hit me emotionally, and I had tears in my eyes. Different parts of the story when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. But what it gives us is an opportunity to get emotional, be vulnerable in that aspect. But there's no repercussions of it. You can have these big, dramatic, life-changing events in a virtual world, right? That give you this emotional instability, which I think we all need. I think we all need to feel different emotions, love, hate, loss, everything like that. But it's in a controlled environment. It's just a virtual game. It hasn't happened in real life. You haven't lost a real family member that has horrible consequences off the back of it. So what I'm trying to say here is it gives us this real emotional roller coaster that I think we all need sometimes. Whether it's good or bad, I do think we all need a bit of an emotional roller coaster, because it makes us feel alive. It reminds us that we are human beings with feelings and emotions. And Final Fantasy X will always live with me for that bit. It's the game that really made me emotional for the first time, and it sits hard with me. So the point I want to make here is that it can make us emotional gaming. It can give us these life-changing events when you're invested in characters and you lose these characters or they achieve something great. And I think that's great. I think that's something that we need, and it's something that allows us to grow as human beings. The final point I want to add here is about there being a fine line to all the points I've talked about when it comes to gaming and escapism, right? I talk about how you can spend 2 hours gaming to just kind of shut away for those 2 hours, reset yourself, recharge. But there's also understanding that fine line of when it becomes a negative and you're neglecting your family and friends, you're neglecting the real world issues out there. Because I'm not saying here you should be forgetting about everything and having a whole day gaming session and ignoring all the problems that are around you. I'm saying the escapism that gaming gives us is an opportunity for a moment in time to escape and unwind. But I think it's just as important to remember that you have problems or issues that you got to resolve or responsibilities you got to take care of. They are still going to be there. And this shouldn't be an excuse to not resolve and cater to those problems, issues, or whatever it may be. It should just be a pit stop to help you recharge emotionally, physically, for the harsh reality of the world that we live in and the problems and issues that we have to deal day to day. So I wanted the last point to be really focused on that, and for everyone not to really take this out of context, really, and saying, just use escapism to ignore your problems. That's not what I'm saying here. So remember, there's a fine line when it comes to escapism, and just know where that fine line is. So they are my 5 things when it comes to escapism and gaming. I hope you found them all really interesting. There's different points to each of those. Hopefully all hit with you well, or some of them will hit with you well. So again, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the topics that we've discussed. I hope at the end of this video, you've now kind of looked at the word escape, and it's not always a negative. There's actually a positive to that word, and how you take that positive really and embrace it in your everyday and use it in the right way. So I'll leave it there. Thank you again. If you did enjoy the video, please drop it a like. If you want to see more content like this, again, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all on the next one.